We're talking about electrical safety devices, and this is the primary safety device in your home. It's called your electrical system ground. Now this system ground requires that it be tagged, and prior to about the year 2000 they were connected directly to the cold water main of the building. That's this pipe here. If there is a huge voltage surge, such as from lightning, this system, the ground that I'm touching with my pen, will carry that voltage to the cold water main and send it into the earth. Every home in the United States requires to have a ground like this, or a ground, another ground, which I will show you in a few minutes. The primary components include this clamping device that I am touching with my pen, then the bonding strap, which is right along here, and that bonding strap must be connected back then to the conduit, which goes back to the electrical system. This is our conduit. Without this, there can be electrical current running around the building that could electrocute somebody under unique conditions. If you don't have one of these in your building, or if you don't have a driven electrical ground at the building's exterior, you'll see that in a minute, you're going to have a major electrical problem. So take the 20 minutes to examine your own home and look for this bonding strap, this tag, and the wire that's next to it that illustrates that the equipment is properly grounded. I would say that maybe less than 1% of all the buildings that I look at don't have this. Electricians tend to be very cautious, and their work overall tends to be good. And it underlines and emphasizes the importance of having a licensed electrical contractor and not a handyman doing your work. Now, if we can switch over to here for a second, this is what a handyman does. And this is another electrical deficiency that you should look for in your home. We usually find open electrical boxes like this above ceiling tiles, in garages, or in attic spaces where the last person present doing the electrical work assumes that no one else is going to see it. These wires are supposed to be placed inside the box, and the box is to have a cover on that. Now you can't tell this, but this space is only about 6 foot tall. If we had a tall electrical contractor down here who was bald-headed and hit some of these wires without nuts on them, he could be electrocuted. This is problematic. Also, these are commonly chewed by rats and mice, who can actually live off of the insulation that's on the cover of the wires. Here's the second most popular electrical ground found throughout the United States. It's called a driven ground rod. Now this driven ground rod, as you can see, is about 2 inches above the surface of the concrete. Frankly, it's supposed to be left flush to the concrete, but the code official needs to examine that it's present, so electrical contractors leave it a couple inches above the ground to confirm its presence. The purpose of this ground is exactly the same as the purpose of the ground that we saw in the building that was attached to the cold water main. It takes any high voltage and carries it through this bonding strip into the copper ground rod, where it is sent into the earth and where the electricity dissipates. Now this ground only gets used under a very high voltage situation, such as a lightning strike.